Knowledge be your sword, and caution be your shield. It's Monster Spotlight. Nicol Bolas is one of the biggest antagonists in the Magic the Gathering universe. Not confined to one setting or plane, he has the ability to planeswalk between locales to threaten all of creation. A master of black, blue, and red magic, even the slightest caress of his claws causes instant insanity and shatters the minds of his victims. Though his 25,000-year history is long, I will try to sum it up in brief terms. Thousands of years before the recorded history of the Magic the Gathering multiverse, the Elder Dragons fought the first temporal war across the different universes, leaving tears in the fabric of space and time. Nicol Bolas emerged victorious. He later fought a demonic leviathan for over a month, reducing its homeworld to a third of its size and eating the corpse to absorb its power. All that remains of that massive creature is something called the Talon Gates, yet another tear in the fabric of space. The dragon considers this his finest victory across the ages and visits them often to relish in his victory. On the plane of Madara, there was an intersection ley line of black, red, and blue magic. Slaying the local royalty, he built a shrine to himself and used the ley lines to anchor himself to that location safely. Without the ley lines, his raw power would have cracked the foundations of that plane of reality. During this time, he ruled as God Emperor of Madara and created a champion named Tetsuo Umezawa. Tetsuo turned against him and, using the Meteor Hammer spell, destroyed the dragon's anchoring shrine while his body was inside it. This severed his connection to that plane. The dragon had left his body in spirit form and followed Tetsuo to the meditation realm. In his weakened state, he was slain by his former champion. However, his ghost remained and lingered on the coast in the rift between Madara and the meditation plane, a sort of space between spaces. After a long time of mending, it didn't take Bolas long to lure Tetsuo and his companions back to the rift at the Talon Gates. He absorbed the planeswalking spark from one of Tetsuo's allies and was reborn into the physical world. It was from his enemies that Bolas learned of the rifts scattered all across the universe and what a threat collapsing realities would soon become. Taking responsibility, the dragon used someone's life to close the rift at Madara and left for another plane of existence. He claimed to have a plan to preserve himself in the case all worlds everywhere collapse in such a way. When the rifts throughout the multiverse were eventually mended by a great hero, Nicol Bolas and all of the older planeswalkers lost a significant portion of their powers. Though he was still very powerful and extremely intelligent, his clock had begun to tick down and he was no longer immortal and godlike. Trying to regain his vast powers became the dragon's one driving force as he hopped from world to world, universe to universe. Throughout the ages he prompted wars, manipulated hero and villain alike, absorbing vast amounts of mana from different sources across the multiverse. To go into detail about every single one would take hours and is not the point of this video. He had a hand in the great struggles of Alara, Mirrodin, Zendikar, and even beheld the Phyrexian Wars through a champion named TheWriter. In the Magic the Gathering storyline, he is ever present, ever watchful, ever meddling in the macro problems of the worlds he touches. He manipulates others to his own ends and even slays other Elder Dragons to absorb their powers. Completely driven to absorb mana in the most vast quantities he can, he has destroyed worlds and countless lives in his never-ending quest to achieve his former glory.